Alright, my name's James. Welcome to the Man of Media channel. First things first, this isn't my room.
Bullshit.
I don't know if you can see that glorious Val Kilmer Batman poster back there and the pink walls, but yeah, I try to balance out the testosterone levels with that Conan book on the wall.
Stop being such a pussy!
I don't know how effective that was, but yeah, Justice League, Snyder Cut. This is going to be a general discussion, not really a review, just reaction, sort of thoughts on it. I wanted to get something out on it, and I shot something last night, but it was just too like scatterbrained, too random, cringe. I might include a thumbnail, I don't know, but yeah, Snyder Cut. If first things, let me just get this out the way. I loved it. I was blown away by it. It actually exceeded my expectations. And then that's a huge task for something like this. This is like one of the most anticipated movies. I don't know about all time, but I mean, in the past 20 years, it's up there, you know. Yeah, like Star Wars, Force Awakens, Avengers Endgame, Infinity War. You know, like Snyder Cut, Justice League, Batman v Superman. But the Snyder Cut, the mythical, fabled Snyder Cut of Justice League has to be up there. And, you know, if you're a fan of if you're a Zack Snyder fan, you've been following, you've been on board this whole journey from BBS to the critical reviews and the Ultimate Edition release to the complete fumble by Warner Brothers with Justice League 2017. When Zack left the project, I think it was in March of that year. You know, everything was up in the air, and we heard Joss Whedon's coming on board, and Zack picked him to finish, which wasn't true, and he's gonna complete he's gonna complete Zack's vision. He's gonna keep it intact, which was complete bullshit. Like, I mean, yeah, I might include some pics here, just a quick reminder of the crimes against humanity that was committed by WB and Joss Whedon. It just comes to mind as from where we are now, from where we came from. But anyway, yeah, like coming from then in like early 2018, having to hear, you know, it's never gonna happen, and if you've been following that, then this is just huge. It's like a huge achievement for not only Zack Snyder fans, but like, you know, movie fans, and like from the billboards in Times Square and the bus stop and at San Diego Comic-Con, and the plane fly over WB Studios would release a Snyder Cut banner, you know, and all the shirts, like this one for suicide prevention. You know, like it's been a long journey to get where we're at now. Like, if you're just coming into it, or if you've been on the outside, then this might not impact you the same way. But if you've been following it and you're a fan, then this is pretty huge. And just the task alone of sifting through that rubble of 2017's Justice League and piecing things together and finding set pieces and costumes, getting everything back, and do we still have access to this, and what scenes did we do, reshoots, and Junkie XL's score, you know, like making it a cohesive, you know, like 4 hours of footage, VFX, using that budget, which was, you know,
a very, very small number.
70 million. It's pretty. It's great. Grateful to HBO Max and AT&T for granting that budget to finish the VFX, but for in terms of a movie of this magnitude, that's not. You know, what did Batman v Superman have, like 250 million or something like that?
The biggest number ever.
You know, like, but what they were able to do with the footage, the scenes they had, and the 70 million budget was amazing. Like, I was blown away. My girlfriend was blown away. If a movie can make you feel like a kid again in theaters, and you're squirming around your seat, and you're gasping at certain reveals, and you're in awe of some of the fight scenes, and the crazy fantastical comic book stuff that gets captured on screen. Like Flash comes to mind. The Speed Force, Flash was a huge standout, and Cyborg. Those two, to me, were the standouts. And like their characterization, and they're so like rich. They have a lot of depth there. There's a lot of stuff to work with, and like if WB doesn't, or if they don't want to continue with Ray Fisher, I think they're wrong for that after this, because he freaking nailed it, and he seemed so, his character arc of coming from this football player. I don't want to say too many spoilers, but from a regular guy, popular guy, quarterback, to this basically Frankenstein, this monster pieced together, and him coming to terms with that and dealing with that, in the Flash with his dad being in prison, and again, I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but him dealing with his family issues and finding himself and what he should do, and is he choosing the right path, and his dad, and then he joins his team of other outcasts, misfit type, people, and he's able to find a place on this team and contribute, and he's super useful. He's extremely useful. If you haven't seen it, man, Flash, like the stuff he was doing in this movie was crazy. Like it was epic. It was epic. And Cyborg, like the dialogue that no firewall can contain you, and you I'm trying to remember, you have access to the world's money, all this stuff, and just the implications of his power and what he's going to do with it. It was very well done, and it exceeded my expectations of what they were going to do. I was a little nervous. I was like, this movie is so huge. I've been waiting for this for over 3 years. And since the last Zack Snyder DC movie, BVS, what, 5 years? A week shy of 5 years, waiting for another Zack Snyder movie like that, and to continue the BVS story. Like, this was a huge task for them, and they, in my opinion, they nailed it. Like with what they had to work with, it looks like people liked it overall. Like, it has a fresh rating, and I don't even like Rotten Tomatoes. I don't go by them, but it is nice to see them giving Snyder some love for once. Like, it is nice to see. Like, he deserved it. Everything him and his family's been through with their daughter, and it was it's just cool to see. You can tell it's a long movie, especially 2 hours in, 3 hours in. It's like, this is a long movie, but I wanted more. I could have sat through another hour or 2 hours I would have watched the 5-hour cut. But like, I was fully satisfied with what they showed. I mean, oh my God, Steppenwolf. Let me talk about like his design is infinitely better than 2017. I don't know what he looked like in 2017. He looked like some grandpa demon or something. Like, what the fuck? This movie, super menacing, like threatening. His size, he looks like he's like 7 feet tall. Looks like some Mr. Olympia, Ronnie Coleman alien. Like in his armor, how it, like it's that that effect they had on it, that metal. I can't remember oxidation. I can't remember the term, but the way the metal, his metal look, that purplish, bluish tones in the sunlight, and how it like sort of breathed. It was almost like a skin. That was just freaking cool design, and how intricate it was, and how it like flared up and spiked at certain times. And he was just a cool, especially that where he's fighting the Amazonians, man. He's just like relentless. Like the way they captured that, his axe with the lightning strikes, and he just doesn't stop. He wants this freaking box, and he's gonna get it at all costs. I mean, he'll chop anyone down in his way, and like why he's doing this is was pretty cool. Like we get to see more like why he's doing this, and you know he owes Darkseid a debt, and the way Darkseid's presence is cool too. Like how powerful Steppenwolf is, how relentless he is, dangerous, and then how he just completely bends his knee to Darkseid in his presence and reveals his head. You know, like that little things like that. That was just cool. Man, the fight scenes, the choreography. God, when he's going after that mother box, when Steppenwolf's going after the mother box and Themyscira, and the women too, the way they were, man. Those Themyscirans were badass. Like the way they're all like cut up and freaking, you know, jacked, and warriors with those giant hammers, and the how they showed no fear. You know, like when Hippolyta, when Steppenwolf first landed, and he said something about I'll drown in your bathe in your fear or something like that, and you know she said, "Show him your fear," and then they yell out, "We have no fear!" Like that was like, chill-inducing. Like the way they captured them, and their like warrior ways. It was freaking cool. And man, the history lesson with Zeus and the Green Lanterns and the old gods. Man, epic. Like this movie had everything. In my opinion, for me, it had everything. Like it was epic. It was funny, you know. It had humor in the right places, and it wasn't overdone. It was like spread out and placed in the right areas to where it's not gonna like subvert or like defuse the action or the drama. And it had drama. It had a lot of like great, meaningful drama. You know, with Cyborg, of course, even Flash. Flash was like multifaceted. He was funny. He had drama, and the character development there with his dad, and he had epic scenes. He had chill-inducing scenes. A little goofball character, like how he portrayed in the movie, the awestruck goofy guy of the group, and he gave me chills. You know, to balance out all these characters and to give them enough screen time, and so you can feel their presence. They did a great job. And there's a lot of characters. You know, the Justice League is 6 characters. Then you have the cameos, of which, man, the cameos. There's so much to talk about. Like, Joker. God, Martian Manhunter. You know, Desaad. Darkseid. You know, you even have a little Lex Luthor and like Deathstroke. You know, it's just they were just sprinkled in there at the right places, and it's just so much to take in and talk about. Like the Junkie XL score was perfect. I saw an interview where I think he did it in like a week or something like that. I don't know. That's just insane to have to provide music for a movie of this size in a deadline like that. It was. And it's going to be released on vinyl, and I'm getting it for sure.
Okay, USA.
I'm trying not to miss anything. The CGI was you could see at times the restrained budget at times, but I really did not notice. I was completely just zoned in, satisfied with how it turned out. The action was amazing. I, that history lesson scene with when Uxas or Darkseid, and he's like in the battlefield fighting the armies of Earth, and he's like swinging that big old scepter he has, like Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Like that was, to see that on screen. You know, if you're familiar with these characters and you've seen like the cartoons and stuff, and you know the Michael, what was it Michael Ironside, I think, did the voice, and we're finally to finally see Darkseid on screen and portrayed in that way, how freaking huge he, like, just grand, and his presence, how powerful he is. Oh my god, the nightmare scene. See, there's just so much to talk about. The nightmare future, the extra scenes. I'm not even talking about the Joker one. I'm talking about the other one where, again, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but you got to see it. What are you doing?
Okay, USA.
That hit me when they showed Wonder Woman with the coins in her eyes, and she was, their Themyscirans were, you know, they were that funeral pyre, and they were burning. Like, man, she had her sword on her chest with the coins in her eyes. Like, I was like, man, that was a powerful image. Just, you know, just to paint a picture of how like dire this future is, this nightmare future, if they don't get things under control. And man, Darkseid with the Omega beams fighting when he freaking kills Aquaman, stabs him with his trident, and then he takes out those two Atlantean guards with his Omega beams. Like, damn. You know what? Thank you, Whedon. Thank you, WB. Thank you, Sujihara. I hope you guys didn't cash that year-end bonus you guys got.
He made him say Mate.
If it wasn't for their complete mishandling of this movie and reactionary attitude to the MCU and what they're doing, and we got to get this out, and they just dumped it out. And then recently, Warner Brothers executive mentioned that he was anonymous. He didn't reveal his name, but you know, he said that at the time they all knew the Whedon cut was I think he said it was a piece of shit, and we all knew it, and it was like an inside joke, and we just put it out anyways. That just shows a lack of integrity for that. I mean, WB, weren't you the same people who used to tout we're a filmmaker first, and
Come on,
blah blah
don't
blah.
bullshit
You know,
me.
I'm sure that was back with the glory days of Chris. You know, the Dark Knight. What a joke! What a I mean, at the same time, what was coming out with Marvel? Infinity War, and they nailed it with Infinity War. They knocked out like that. That was a great movie. And for DC, for Warner Brothers to respond to them with Justice League, it's like I'm just so happy. I'm euphoric. Coming from just piecing this all together, coming from 2017's Abomination to where we're at now with Justice League, and now it's up in the air. You know, are we going to get Justice League 2 and 3? You know, there's other rumors that WB or HBO Max, somebody wants Snyder to do maybe Wonder Woman 3, but I mean, I would love to see that, with the way he captures her, the way he shoots her. You know, in this movie, she's so brutal, and she represents who we saw in BVS when she just charged in, and this world-destroying monster right here, Doomsday, and she just basically without hesitation, right when she lands, and she just charges at him. It was so epic, and like she is that same character in this movie. She translates well to this movie. So if he did that, that'd be amazing. I don't know what I want. Uh, I mean, he's if he wanted to do, only if he wanted to do 2 and 3, Justice League 2 and 3, then I would want it. But I wouldn't want to force him, you know, campaign for it. Only if he wants it, because he's super busy. He's been through all, he has other movies he wants to do. He got Army of the Dead coming out. He has another like small budget movie coming out, shot in a super small budget. I think it's called Horse Latitudes, shot in shot in South America, I think, or South Africa. But yeah, these are huge movies. They're huge. They're exhausting. They're super taxing. Physically, emotionally, and Snyder has mentioned that this was like a cathartic experience to finish this movie and get it out and to be embraced by the fans, so I don't know. Personally, I think a nice like button on his DC would be for him to do Man of Steel 2. Maybe, I don't know, call it Man of Tomorrow with Henry Cavill. Just get one more in there, and then I'd be happy with that. But of course, I'd be blown away if he came back and did Justice League 2 and 3. That'd be amazing with a full budget, and to do it the way he wanted to do it the first time around. Instead of studio execs giving him all kinds of notes and pushback, and yeah, that'd be amazing. I also want to say, like, this movie Justice League was so fulfilling for me. It like kick-started or jump-started my passion, I guess, for movies. Like, last year we didn't really have anything. Last year was like a dead year. The year before, like, it's been a while since I felt like a kid. If you can do that, I love the movie. And it was like a roller coaster in a good way, and yeah, I just can't say it enough. I love the movie. It exceeded expectations. I had to talk about it. There's no way I was not gonna. This made me this in a way made me start a channel. The release of this movie, how big it was. Like, I love movies. I'm passionate about movies and physical media and other art, music and comic books and all that stuff. So I want to throw my hat in the ring, and talk about this stuff too with the YouTube community. And yeah, this movie did it. Snyder nailed it.